Welcome to the concluding lecture of Chapter 2 of our comprehensive course of Machine Learning, Data Science, and Artificial Intelligence. As I said earlier, in initial around 15 chapters or so, we would be just going deeper and deeper in Python only. Okay, and once that is done, thereafter we will learn statistics because data science cannot be learned without statistics, hypothesis formation, and everything is required. And thereafter, we will have 10 big chapters. Content wise, they are more in size than these 20 chapters, including Python and statistics. So, they are big chapters on various machine learning algorithms where they are used in practice and everything. Okay, and a few deep learning examples, one or two neural network examples, and everything. So, this lecture actually, second chapter was over in the previous lecture only, but this lecture is just a recap sort of what we have done in this second chapter. We started with very basic introduction to Python. We learned what are the core features of Python, that it is its simplicity and readability, interpreted language, dynamic typing, and why Python is so popular programming language. So these are some of its features which make it very, very popular. In fact, it is the most popular programming language at present. Then what are the applications of the Python? So we learned that these are the applications, and that's why I chose Python. That after learning this course, some people may decide that data science is not for him or her. Then he may still have multiple career options: web development and standalone app development, and so on, game development, networking. So many other options are there. So be expert in Python, and you will have multiple options. Then we did this Zen of Python, which captures how the Python code should be written in a lighter manner. Okay, so code should be simple, code should be readable, code should be as much as possible. You should be explicit in your code, and then we learned about some basic syntax of Python. And from here, actually, real things started: variables, data types, and operators. Okay, so here data types are there. Variables can be either integer variable or floating point variable or string variable. Then Boolean variable. Then these are actually called the basic variables, or but these are called derived from basic. So complex variables. Okay. So for this list. This is a dictionary. This is a tuple. Okay. So this is Python data types, and basic data types are integer, float, and complex numbers. Boolean. Then dictionary. This is now derived data types or not integer data types. These are sequence data types, which include list, tuple, and range, and all different data types and their subtypes. They are shown one diagram. Then we did some very basic Python calculation. Then operators we did. Arithmetic, relation, assignment operator, logical operator, membership, and identity operator. All these were covered in a single lecture, but this bitwise was not covered. That was covered in next lecture because it requires lengthy discussion of its own. So this is the lecture where we covered bitwise operators, and there was a lecture where we discussed about operator precedence. Like for example, this is there, then whether you should first do 10 plus 5 and then multiply by 2, or whether you should do 5 into 2 plus and then 5 into 2 10 plus first and then add 10 to it, because both ways answer would be different. Okay, so that is decided by operator precedence, which is in this table. And operator precedence can be remembered by one simple rule, and that rule is this: PEMDAS, parenthesis, exponential, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, bitwise operators. Then these are comparison operators, and then these are logical operators, Boolean operators. Okay. Then some string operations we did. Several string operations were done. For example, and this concatenation, repetition, finding length of string, slicing, indexing, uppercase, converting string to uppercase, lowercase, title case, stripping the string of white spaces, replacing a part of the string, a substring, by other substring, then find position of a substring, splitting a string into a list, then joining list to form the string again, then start finding the character with which the string starts, finding the character with which the string ends, or deciding if it starts with one particular given character and deciding if it ends with one particular given character, deciding if the string is entirely made up of digits, deciding if it is entirely made up of alphabetical characters, deciding if it is a mixture of digits and alphabetical characters, that is, it is alphanumeric. Okay. Then we started control structures, and the most basic control structure is if statement or if elif else ladder, and we did this kind of various control statements: if elif statement, if elif else statement. We also did nested if statement, that is, one if statement contains inside it another if statement, somewhat like this. Okay. And Thereafter, we did, I think, functions. So in the functions, we understood scope. Scope is what is in other language often called namespaces. What are arguments and what are parameters for a function? How to define function? How to call function? That all these things. This was done. Later on, we did some examples of function and a very detailed discussion on variable scope or namespace. Okay. Then we continued and still some examples of function only, and we started more discussion on loops. The for loop, they are also control structures, just like if, else, if, elif, which we did earlier. For loop, while loop, and how do while loop can be mimicked. Python does not have do while loop, but you can easily mimic it by using while loop itself by setting the condition of while loop to be true. Okay, so then case default, switch case default, or in Python from Python 3.10, case and command and case, that is match case construct, which is just like switch case default statement of C or other programming languages. So match case construct has been added, but it is added after Python 3.10. Then if when it was not added, how programmers were mimicking that behavior? They were using dictionaries to create effect like switch case default statements. Then error handling, try, except, else, and finally blocks. We did much detailed discussion on error handling, why error handling is required, and several code examples also. Then this part was the last part of the chapter where we wrote 11 different Python scripts, starting from easy script to gradually more and more difficult scripts. Only in last script I used ChatGPT for getting this complicated regular expression. Otherwise, my insistence is that you should try yourself as much as possible. And if all your efforts fail, or at least you allocate some time, that I will try on this problem for maybe 15 to 20 minutes or half an hour, and I will try how many times. So today I will try. If I don't get it, then in the evening or tomorrow I will try again. After those that much effort, if you still don't get, then use tools like ChatGPT or other AI-based code help. Okay. Then this is the exercise at the end of the chapter, and you will be required to do that. You will get this Jupyter notebook, and you will get the detailed solution of the exercise also. But for the solution, I will give it after a few days, so that you get some motivation about how to do it yourself. But if you see exercise, then you can see that there are also some things which are practically used. For example, write a Python script. Let's take country name string as an argument and strips it to keep only first three characters, because internationally the country names are written this way. India, if you write, then it is stored as IND. Okay. Then the United Kingdom, then it is stored as maybe UK. So either 2 to 3 characters only in it. Then there is an accepted international standard. So you should be able to Australia, then it is stored as AUS. Okay, so you should be able to do this, because whenever users register and you ask them to enter their country, but in your database you don't want countries of different sizes. You want all to be of standard size 3 characters. Okay, matching with the international standards. Then this is also a very practical script which is useful, that you can generate a random password of your specified criteria. Every web browser nowadays have this facility built in that they will generate a secure random password. So the question is how they are generating it. So they are using such scripts only. Then script to calculate age based on birth date and today's date. Now with date, it is never simple thing as you just subtract from today's date to his birth date, his or her birth date, and you will get exactly the age, because age has years, then months, then days. If you forget about hours and smaller fractions of time still. So you have to calculate age very carefully, and this is also required many times, because from birth date you can segment your users into their different age groups, and once age groups are known, then you can easily target them, that youngsters should be targeted with this product, middle-aged people should be, homemakers should be targeted with this product, old-age people should be targeted with this product, and so on. So that is all data science is about, that from user you try to get maximum possible data, but from that data you try to convert that data into the form which is useful to you. So birth date is not useful, but from birth date and current date, if you find the age of the user, then you can easily decide which product should be recommended to that user. Then from any web page, all URLs should be fetched into one text page. So this is required because suppose you open one website on which there are 100 links and you find that out of that 100, 80 are your useful links and you want all of them, then the question is, will you go on clicking on one each of that link, and then when it opens in the browser, you will go to this part of the browser, then you will copy and then you will paste in your text. Then no, you just write a Python script which is called link grabber script, which will grab all the links which are there in your in that page. Okay, then Python script to get your own IP address and host name, then Python script to get IP address and host name of some random website, any other website. Python script for finding a file on the PC, because the search utility on many PCs, that is very slow sometimes. So you can design a better Python script in which you just enter the file name and it will immediately find that file. Python script to scrap and download all images from a web page. Now there are websites like Shutterstock, and there are some free image stores also. Now suppose you are a textile designer and you want images of flower, or you are some other designing in some other designing business and you want images of maybe all furnitures from a furniture seller's website, then will you again click on each image, right click, save as image, and all that? Because many times even certain websites have provided protection that they do not enable right click. So what you will do, you can use a script which will scrap that website and which will fetch all the images. So then that will have really useful applications. Okay, and such web scraping is legal provided you follow certain rules. Every website has certain a file called robots.txt, and that robots.txt specifies to what extent the scrapping is allowed. Okay, so then this is a Python script to compress folders and files. Okay, this is also useful when your files and folders overgrow and you run out of disk space on your PC. Then if everything else on your PC is working well, like RAM and processor and everything is fine, then just because your hard disk is smaller, will you buy a new PC? No, there is no need. You can keep only the files which are currently being used as usual, but rest of the older stuff you can compress, and you can decide your compression level also, so that it will occupy less space. Then Python script for web scraping your YouTube comment. Okay, nowadays there are many people who are earning their livelihood as a YouTuber. Now when you post a video and on which suppose thousands of comments have come, will you go and read each and every comment? Then no, you will just scrap them into one notepad text page and save it. And then I will show you the data science has advanced so much that you don't even need to read it. Suppose you have 1,000 comments, then data science algorithm can even classify those comments, that out of 1,000, maybe 600 are positive comments, 300 are negative comments, 100 are neutral comments, like that. So you don't have to manually read the comments. You don't have to manually copy paste each and every comment. First scrap them, so all 1,000 will come in a notepad, and then use that database that with data science classification algorithm, and it will classify it. Okay, so data science, actually you should not think when will data science begin, because such tasks you will be required to do as a data scientist. That data science begins by collecting the data. First you have to have the data, then all the remaining 3 steps can be done. So this type of scripts can help you to collect the data legally and in an ethical manner from different websites. Okay, thank you and see you in third chapter. All the best for doing the exercise of this chapter, and you will get the detailed solution but after a few days, as I say. Thank you.